Hi guys, so I wanted to film this video for the past few months now, but obviously the past year or two have just been a bit crazy for everyone, and I've just finished my 6-month course of Accutane, so I feel like I'm in a much better mindset and more informed to actually speak about this now. I do speak a lot about my acne journey and all things like that over on my Instagram, and when I last spoke about wanting to make this video, a lot of people reached out and said that they asked me like certain questions and things to help with the side effects. So I am making this video as almost like a little survival guide to getting through the side effects of Accutane. So the first point I want to make is dehydration. Now, most people that go on this drug are going to experience quite a bit of dehydration. You'll be able to tell it in your lips, in your skin, in your hair. So I would recommend drinking at least 2 to 3 litres of water a day. I tried to drink at least 3 litres a day, and if I didn't drink that much, I really would notice it in my body, in my skin, even like just the feeling in my mouth. You can just tell if you don't keep on top of your water intake. Would also recommend getting into herbal teas. I really love herbal teas, and peppermint tea is probably my favourite. It has a lot of benefits too, so it's really good for digestive issues, muscle soreness, things like that. It's really good for creating a good sleep routine and sleep hygiene, and that is another thing when you're on this drug, that you want to make sure you're getting a good quality level of sleep, because your body needs to be repairing itself, and you want to keep on top of just your health in general whilst you're on this drug, and the stress levels. So the hot tea, hot herbal teas, and just keeping hydrated throughout the day is really recommended. Moving on to the second point is, it's windy out here, but moving on to the next point is dryness. So this obviously links in with dehydration, but I mostly experienced dryness in my lips and my hair. Obviously my overall skin, but it was mostly my lips and my hair. And I have found a miracle product that I have recommended to so many people, even people not on Accutane, and I will continue to use this even when I'm not on Accutane. It just looks like a beautiful clear gloss. So when I'd go out on nights out or I'd leave the house, I'd just put this on, and people would actually ask me what I had on my lips, and it was nipple cream. This is the brand. It's what pregnant ladies use on the nips. But your lip skin is also the same skin that is on your nipples, so it just makes sense. But yeah, £7. This costs £7, costs hardly anything. And I also recommend the Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream, which everybody knows about, but this is amazing for not just your lips, anything dry like elbows, any really dry stubborn areas of skin that you struggle with. This is amazing, but obviously this is a lot more, well, not a lot more, but it is a bit more expensive, and it's 100% natural and hypoallergenic, so that is also a really good point. Moving on to your hair, so your hair will also get really dry. I have been on Accutane twice now, but I struggled more with the dryness in my hair the first time I went on, rather than the second time. But the reason why I think I had to go on it again was when I did go on the first time, I don't think the dermatologist at the time put me on the right milligram of Accutane for the right length of time. Also, my hormones were really imbalanced when I abruptly came off the pill. I did speak about this in the last video that I made, so if you want to hear all about that and me balancing my hormones, then you can go back to that video. But my hormones are all better now, and I do feel like my body in general is just in a much calmer place. But yeah, you will notice that your hair will get really dry and quite brittle, so that is something to bear in mind. But I would just look at this in a positive way and just really amp up your self-care routine. So every Sunday I would pamper myself, I'd have a nice bath, not too hot though, because really hot baths when you are drying out, it's not good. You'll just feel rubbish afterwards. But yeah, so every Sunday I'd put a really nice deep moisturising mask on my hair and leave it on for a few hours. I'd leave it on for a few days if I wasn't a shoot or had to have really clean hair. I've got naturally curly hair anyway, so the texture is more rough, so if you do have curly hair, just bear in mind that you will notice a bit of a difference in your hair. But you can combat it obviously with keeping on top of your water intake and I would use the Olaplex. There's obviously loads of different oils you can use. I like the Moroccan argan oil one. That I love that. I love the Olaplex bonding oil, that's really nice, and I just keep topping it up every single day. Sometimes I'd even bring it up towards my roots, which you don't usually do because it can make your hair quite greasy, but because your hair just wants the moisture, you'll notice that you can actually get away with that. Well, I could personally. Moving on to the fourth point is achy bones. I did really suffer from achy bones quite badly, which was mostly in my hip area and my lower back. I do have quite a sore lower back anyway, so maybe it just accentuates the pains that you already have, but this isn't something to be alarmed about because it is a side effect and it's just something to be aware of. I wouldn't say stop going to the gym. I'd try and stay as active as possible. Obviously if you're not feeling it on one day, then don't push yourself, just like you would in your normal day-to-day life. I'd maybe opt for things more like yoga, Pilates, nature walks, like just getting yourself out in the environment, de-stressing your body. Another point that I want to make that I probably should have made at the start, but it is purging, and you might experience a purge of your skin, you might not. I know quite a lot of people that I've spoken to have before, but in the first 4 to 6 weeks you might experience a period where your skin gets worse before it gets better, but I wouldn't be stressing about this because it is working. Don't think that the drug isn't working for you. It is actually a common side effect. It's so hard, but you just need to think of it in a positive way, that you're finally on something that's hopefully going to help your acne journey, and it's not going to last as long, and there's some light at the end of the tunnel that it is going to work. It's just almost getting all of the stuff that's underneath out of your system. Moving on to one of the last few points now is skincare. I would recommend trying to keep your routine as simple as possible and as few products as possible. Also try to not touch your face as much as you can. You want to limit the amount of things going onto your face because it is going to be quite dry. When you wear your makeup, you won't want to wear makeup towards the end and whilst you're in the middle of being on the drug, because it will just, mine anyway for me, once it was on for a few hours it would just dry out, like completely dry out. Oh, my cat just jumped over the fence. But yeah, so limit makeup as much as possible. I know again that's hard, obviously it's up to you what you think's best for you whilst you're on it, but for me personally I didn't really want to wear much makeup. I didn't want to have too many steps in my skincare routine because it would just irritate my skin even more. Some of my favourite products are the Liz Earle Cleanse and Polish. Just with lukewarm water, rub it into your makeup and it literally just melts off your eye makeup so nicely. It's really good for sensitive skin. As I've gotten older anyway, I've really started to get sensitive skin, so even the way that I treated my skin on Accutane, I still treat it exactly the same now. I try not to use too many products or switch my products up too much. If I find a brand that I really like, then I'll tend to stick to that. I really love Evolve Beauty. That's a completely sustainable and ethical brand. It's beautiful, and same for Ren Skincare. So Liz Earle, Ren and Evolve Beauty, they're all really nice clean brands. They've not got a lot of nasties and horrible ingredients in them. The one from Evolve Beauty that I really like, it is more on the pricier side. It's like I forgot what it's called, but that is a removing, like melting cleanser, and it looks almost like a jelly, and then you just rub it between your hands onto your face and that also just melts away your makeup. I know the Ren cleansing balm, that is quite expensive. A lot of people love that and rave about that, but the Liz Earle Cleanse and Polish is probably the cheapest out of them, and it's amazing. I love that even now. And then cream wise, obviously you are going to suffer from really dry skin, so just any cream, preferably for sensitive skin, that you can just keep with you all day. Maybe one in your bag, and then a maybe more richer one for when you go into bed, so you don't wake up feeling as horribly dry. Yeah, so basically just a cleanser and a cream, maybe 2 different types of creams depending on what you want to wear in the day, and then a more richer one for night time. And the last point is diet. Now this is going to be quite hard for a lot of people, because I soon realised that I would have to limit my caffeine. Now that is a nightmare to some people, so obviously when you're doing trial and error whilst you're on the drug, it's totally up to you how you want to treat your body. But I would recommend limiting your caffeine intake, and you get told to limit your alcohol intake anyway, because again, I think it is quite harsh on your liver, and that's why you do get monthly checkups and blood tests done, just to see how your body's functioning on the drug. I don't drink that much coffee, but I didn't really drink it whilst I was on Accutane. If I was drinking it, it would be a very milky iced latte. Limit your caffeine intake as much as possible, because obviously caffeine is linked to dehydration and you are obviously dehydrating your body a lot, so that is just something to bear in mind. And yeah, so try and stay away from alcohol as much as possible. And in general, with regards to diet, just try to keep as healthy or as balanced diet as you can. A lot of different coloured veggies, so you know you're getting all your different vitamins and nutrients in. You just want to keep on tip-top shape of your health and how you look after your body in general whilst you're on this. So like I said before, making sure you get good sleep hygiene, good quality of sleep, 7 to 8 hours every night, looking after your diet. Oh, and also, I would recommend taking the tablet, so I'd take it every morning. I'd recommend taking it with a source of fat, because if you take it with a source of fat, it absorbs into your body much quicker than if you didn't. Because I do think it is a fat soluble drug, so yeah, that is just another thing to bear in mind. I also wanted to show a more up close version of my skin, because I'll also insert some pictures of when my acne was at its most intense, so you can see my journey and how much better my skin is now. But this is my skin up close. It is much better. I've not really suffered from scarring too much, but I did have quite a few spots of red pigmentation before I started this second dose of Accutane. And I did do a video, I think, on my channel about how I got rid of scarring. I used one of those at home. Is it dermaplaning or microneedling, sorry. Very lightly would roll that across my skin, maybe like once a week, twice a week, really, really lightly. And then I used this scar oil treatment from Face Theory. That's also a really nice brand, and I think that combo was just a dream for me. So if you are struggling from scarring, don't do the microneedling whilst you're on Accutane. Like, I'm not recommending that at all, because yeah, just don't do that. You don't need to put your skin under any more stresses. Maybe do it after the Accutane's come out your system, which is I think 4 to 6 weeks after you stop taking the drug. It's still in your system up to that time frame, so that's just something to bear in mind. But just let me know through Instagram or even in the comments below if I've not mentioned everything in this video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped even just one person. But if you'd like me to film any other sorts of videos, let me know. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon.